Wow, what a game. This was the best Thursday night football game by far, not even close. We had the Arizona Cardinals head on down to Seattle to take on the Seahawks. We had Kyler Murray versus Russell Wilson in an MVP battle because both these guys are MVP candidates this season. And at the end of the day, the Seahawks were able to get the 28-21 victory. Both these quarterbacks played well. Both of them were accurate. Both of them threw 2 touchdown passes. And guess what? No one turned the football over. On both sides, both teams, nobody turned the football over. Clean. 0 turnovers in this game. This was a great game. This was a beautiful game. Every time Arizona and Seattle meet up, it's always going to be a great matchup. You know, you got that NFC West showdown. And with both these teams playing at a high level this season, you knew this was going to be great. A lot was at stake here because this is a divisional game, and both these teams were 6-3. They really wanted this win. The Seahawks knew they had to get this one because of last week's disappointing loss to the Rams. They had to get this one at home against the Cardinals, and they managed to pull it off. I loved what I saw from both teams. I loved what I saw from both quarterbacks, and it was just a great game all around. I will say this, though. Seattle, defensively, stepped up. They stepped up in this game. They stepped up defensively in this game. Granted, it wasn't spectacular, but they made the plays that were necessary to win this game. And this was definitely a better performance than the performance they had last week against the Rams. So credit to that Seahawks defense. There were times where they embarrassed themselves. Definitely times where they embarrassed themselves. There was an open touchdown to make this game, I believe, what was it, 23-21? That was an embarrassment. I don't know who blew the coverage. I think Jamal Adams was the one who blew the coverage on that. It was just terrible. Dude was wide open. But overall, the defense made the stop and made the plays in order to win the game. So let's just get into it. Offensively for the Cardinals, Kyle Murray and the crew, they started off slow. They couldn't get anything going, but they slowly started to turn it up. They managed to put up a touchdown. It looked great. They just needed to bring more in the second half because I believe the first half ended 16-7. They needed more offense in the second half, and they started to turn it up. Kyle Murray started to get his guys going. They started to move down the field. He started to low-key carve up that Seahawks defense with just some beautiful, beautiful throws by him. And they were able to put themselves in position to score and make the game close. They made it a 16-14 game, and then they made it a 23-21 game. And they had an opportunity here down by 7 to go down the field, score a touchdown, and tie this game. And unfortunately, they were not able to make the stop. Now, granted, this 2-minute offense they were running, man. They were running the no-huddle offense, and they were just carving up Seattle. Like, Seattle had no clue what to do defensively. They were just getting down the field, no problem. Now, I'll say this, though. DeAndre Hopkins did not really show up in this game. He low-key got locked down. I don't know who his assignment was, but he low-key got locked. Like, he didn't do anything in this game significant. Larry Fitzgerald was more impactful in this game than DeAndre Hopkins. That says a lot, considering the fact this is his top 5 receiver. This was not one of his, great games. To go from last week, that amazing Calvin Johnson-like touchdown pass in the end zone for the win, to come this week and get shut down the way you did. I don't know, D-Hop, man, that's bad. You have games like that sometimes, so you got to step your game up, man. You just did not show up. Fitzgerald looked nice. Christian Kirk looked nice. This offense for the Cardinals in the second half definitely played better than they did in the first half, and they had their opportunities. Unfortunately, they weren't able to make the stops. It is what it is. I liked what I saw from Kyle Murray. I liked what I saw here, but my problem is, like, these guys, man, you got to win these type of battles, bro. You got to win these type of battles, which I believe in them, man. I believe in the Cardinals. I believe in Kyle Murray. I think moving down the stretch, they're going to be more prepared for these type of situations. And they've done great so far this season. I mean, look at the situation they had last week against the Bills. I think this team is ready to legit be a contender, like I said last week. And this was a tough loss. But I like what I'm seeing from the Cardinals. They can continue to build this, and I believe they will be in the playoffs. They may run into the Seahawks again. I think they'll be better prepared to face off against them moving forward. Defensively for the Cardinals, could have been better. Could have been better. Could have been better. It was not a great defensive performance by them for the most part. To start the game, the Seahawks got the ball. Their first drive was like almost 7 minutes, and it ended with the DK Metcalf touchdown, already starting with the deficit. Then they kind of made a couple stops, which gave the Cardinals an opportunity to tie this game at 7-7. Then, you know, they gave up some field goals for the most part. Gave up 3 field goals, in fact. All right, sorry, not 50. They gave up a touchdown, and then they gave up some on the field goal. Went into halftime, 16-7. I almost said 3 field goals, but they gave up a touchdown. It's just the kicker missed the extra point. My bad. So, yeah, they gave up, after the score was tied, 7-7, they gave up a touchdown, made it 13-7, and then Russell Wilson, the offense, was marching down the field to try and score a touchdown before halftime. Got 3 points instead, 16-7. Then, they come back out. Oh, one thing I didn't actually bring up, offensively. Yeah, the offensive line messed up. The offensive line messed up. I don't even know how I forgot about this. The safety. Kyler Murray, I don't know why I keep saying it like that. Kyler Murray, on, I believe, first down, they were backed up in their own red zone, and pressure came. He threw the ball on the floor, but it didn't reach the line of scrimmage, so it was called intentional grounding, 2nd and 22, inside his own end zone. A defensive lineman breaks through, and a holding call gets called on one of the offensive linemen because this guy was going to tackle Kyler. He broke through. He was going to get to Kyler. But the offensive lineman had to hold, and that was in the end zone. It was close. It was very close, but it was in the end zone, so it had to be called a safety. And that gave 2 points to the Seahawks, which turned a 23-21 game into a 25-21 game, which means now you need a touchdown in order to take the lead. A field goal ain't going to cut it. But, yeah, man, moving back to defense. Defensively, Cardinals gave up 16 points in the first half. They did better in the second half. They only gave up 10 points for the most part. But other than that, when they needed to make stops, they weren't able to make stops in terms of stopping points. However, on that last drive, they almost got a fumble recovery because it was 2nd down. Russ pitched it to the running back. He fumbled it, and they almost got it, man. They almost got it, but they weren't able to get it, which is unfortunate. But it is what it is. It still was a 7-point game. I just felt like the Cardinals' defense got to be better moving forward. If you're going to face off against Seattle, you've got to be more prepared to face off against Tyler Lockett, to face off against DK Metcalf, to face off against these weapons on the Seahawks offense, and especially to face off against Russell Wilson. So moving forward, I expect the Cardinals' defense to be better. Switching to the Seahawks, which won't take long. Offensively, great performance by Russell Wilson. He was flawless today, man. He was flawless. He was flawless. Him and Tyler Lockett having that perfect connection. I think Tyler Lockett was 9 targets, 9 catches for like 60-something yards and a touchdown. Their chemistry is perfect. As for DK Metcalf, DK caught that touchdown in the first drive and then proceeded to disappear and just look pathetic. I mean, he dropped like, what, 2, 3 passes that hit him right in the hands? I'm like, DK, what are you doing, dog? It was right in his hands, and he dropped it. And they were all going to be first downs. Like, this dude was, oh, my God, he was playing terrible. And to make it worse, he got into it with, what, Buda Baker or something like that? He got into it with Buda Baker, and they just started fighting, man. They just started fighting. No, it wasn't Buda Baker. Who was he got into? He got into a fight with one of the Cardinals. I'm trying to remember the name. I can't remember right now. I'm probably going to remember when the video's over. But he got into a fight. Kirkpatrick. He got into a fight with Kirkpatrick. That's it. Him and Kirkpatrick just went at it, man, and the flag was called. But it's not all on DK because that was called on Kirkpatrick. But him and Kirkpatrick went at it. And that was basically DK's night. Fighting, dropping passes, well, catching a touchdown early on, dropping passes, and then fighting with Kirkpatrick. That was his night. But yeah, other than that, the Seattle offense did what they needed to do to win. Defensively, man, they made plays. They made plays. They made plays. They weren't perfect. Like I said, they gave up that open touchdown, which I'm pretty sure that was on Jamal Adams. But for the most part, they did what they needed to do to win. And on the final drive, they made a stop, man. Second down was a pass, incomplete. It was to Fitzgerald at the end zone. They made a stop. Could have been called. I mean, I don't think it was a penalty, but like there was some contact. But I don't know, it wasn't enough contact to call. Third down, deep pass. It's like a corner out, but it was a deep pass towards the end zone to Isabella. Defense stopped that again. And now it's 4th down. Kyler Murray's got time. He's looking. He gets sacked. The Seahawks make a stop. They sack Kyler Murray on 4th down, and that's the game. With that being said, the Seahawks move to 7-3 and back into first place in the NFC West. The Cardinals drop to 6-4, and they fall to 3rd place in the NFC West. It's going to be competitive in that division. I can't wait to see how it goes. It was an amazing game, easily the best game of Thursday Night Football. With that being said, I had a blast watching this game. Best Thursday Night Football game. I was completely attentive the entire time. Love this game. But yeah, that's all I got, man. And I'm out of here. Peace.